Well, Haiti was ill-equipped for a disaster of this scale. We all know that. It's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Decades of dictatorship and corruption have stolen the future of generations. When you talk about who wrecked Haiti, and there's a lot of people on this list, good place to start those with Francois Papa Doc Duvalier and his son Jean-Claude, known as Baby Doc, father and son dictators who ruled Haiti for decades. Baby Doc and his wife Michelle stole hundreds of millions, maybe billions from Haiti. Where are they now, and what did they spend all that money on? Abby Boudreau investigates.
Michelle Bennett was Haiti's Marie Antoinette. Beautiful, powerful, and acting as if she owned the world, according to British journalist Peter Allen.
She was the first lady for life. She felt entitled. First ladies, as we know, have a huge influence on their husbands.
Her husband was Jean-Claude Duvalier, nicknamed Baby Doc. At 19, he became Haiti's president for life. But she was the power behind the throne, as records show, says attorney Gilles Auguste.
The first time she ever received money from Duvalier was about $100,000, sometimes before their wedding.
Their wedding, so lavish, so grand, it earned a place in the Guinness Book of World Records. At a time when most Haitians lived on less than $1 a day, they spent $3 million making their vows. Auguste and his law partner were hired to track how Michelle and Baby Doc pilfered Haiti's money, even from charities.
So here I'm looking at a check which was made to the charity of the First Lady. And then, if you look at the back of that check was endorsed to the private account of Mrs. Duvalier.
I mean, this money was supposed to go to the people of Haiti.
Absolutely.
And he says these books are a detailed accounting of a stunning grand larceny.
Cash.
Documentation that the couple stole at least $500 million from Haiti.
And this is the Bank of the Republic.
They would throw extravagant parties, buy pricey real estate, and designer clothes. Michelle, in particular, had an insatiable taste for the finer things. Her interior decorator was given carte blanche.
For example, Mr. Jean Sambour, which I think was the decorator of Mrs. Duvalier, transferred $27 million to his bank accounts in the Chase Manhattan Bank in New York and in Paris. Here you see Mr. Sambour, the decorator, probably saving for a rainy day, taking from all sorts of different governmental accounts.
So he had access to the government accounts as well?
Absolutely. He was taking all this money, and we have pages of this.
The designer.
You see $200,000, $200,000, $200,000, $200,000.
So how did they get away with it? They had their own enforcers called the Tonton Macoute, or in Creole, the Boogeymen, who were responsible for tens of thousands of political murders.
If you weren't home and they were trying to assassinate you, they would assassinate your wife, your children, the housekeeper, the dog. Everyone died.
Amy Willens has written a book called The Rainy Season, Haiti since Duvalier.
They would take their victims and put them out on street corners, the corpse sitting on a chair out on a street corner as a sign to other people not to try to challenge the dictatorship.
The Duvalier's reign ended in 1986, when the people finally rose up and threw them out. They fled to France. The attorneys on their trail say they took $50 to $100 million with them. The Duvaliers deny doing anything wrong. But the money and the marriage soon collapsed. After a messy divorce, Michelle reportedly ended up with most of the money. She's now living in this luxurious Parisian penthouse.
She's on the top floor.
She's on the top floor. She has a rather impressive apartment up there. I think she's still quite an enthusiastic shopper. She still has plenty of money to spend.
As for Baby Doc, he's keeping a much lower profile and a lower standard of living.
Do you think he's in Paris?
Yes, I mean, that's what I understand. That he's reported to be in Paris and he's reported to be broke.
Of all the hundreds of millions of dollars stolen, most of it squandered. What's left is frozen in a UBS bank account in Switzerland. It's about $5 to $7 million. Swiss lawmakers promise the Duvaliers will never see that money.
It's the same whether you are the mafia or a criminal political organization. He robbed you, the family of Duvalier robbed you. Now you got the money back. Crime doesn't pay.
For decades, it did pay. The dictator and his wife lived like royalty. And then they lost nearly all of it.
Is there a part of you that might have some sort of sympathy for him? You know,
No, I have no sympathy. You have to understand that in 1986, 80% of the population had no access to water. If they had invested 30 million, probably everybody would have had access to clean water. Mr. Duvalier took $500 million.
so all that money that was supposed to be going to help the people of Haiti, it ended up just being used for cars and jewelry and to have a good time.
Exactly.
And he's never been held accountable for that.
And that's why I have no sympathy for Mr. Duvalier.
Abby Boudreau, CNN, Paris.
Well, it's believed that Michelle Duvalier actually was here. We haven't been able to independently verify that, though we were told that we actually may have even seen her up at the Hotel Montana. Her brother is buried at the Hotel Montana, died and is still missing in the rubble there. We were up there several weeks ago and saw a very elegant lady dressed in white jeans, well-pressed. Certainly did not look like somebody who'd been living in a tent at all. We were told she was here for several days and then left as people started to find out that she was here. Again, we haven't been able to independently verify that. She was apparently wearing a wig when she was up at the Montana. Strange encounter, to be sure. A lot more